Klein from the Diamond Law Group, about to get our Diamonds Are Forever tattoos. See you guys inside.
So this leg is eventually going to be a whole sleeve, and we have a couple tattoos here. This is for my grandparents. The A is for Antoinette, and the spade was for my grandfather because he played cards a lot. The turkey was for my other deceased grandfather. He used to call everybody a turkey instead of a chicken. And on this side, we have Speak No Evil, and my two brothers have Hear No Evil and See No Evil. And then this is a notary stamp that my partner Rich and I have, as well as some other people, for a deceased friend of ours, actually in the real estate business. So this leg eventually will become a whole sleeve of family and people that are very, very close to me.
This is my son Maddie, and my wife Sarah. This one's my daughter Zoe. And then on this side, got the attorney, my son Dylan, and got the same one as John, for my friend Brian Solzman.
I also have more all over my chest and back, but I'm not taking my shirt. That's for another movie.
How do you practice this?
Well,
Did you get some of your friends together that, you know?
pretty much that's the way you do it. I personally tattooed myself. I tattooed my legs and stuff. I did tattoo friends, but literally the first year and a half, I tattooed almost all of my legs.
Sure.
Nowadays, there's more options. You know, like back in the day, you had the option of tattooing yourself. You could tattoo like the skin of a fruit, like a grapefruit or something.
Can't get like a pig.
Well, that was the other option, is you could get like pig's ears from the butcher or something like that. It's neither the fruit or the pig's ears are really anything like the skin, but I guess it gives you an opportunity to use
Surprised like with all the technology nowadays, they have to know the synthetic version of the skin.
Well,
they practice on.
yeah, you kind of jumped ahead of me, but yeah, there definitely is that. So it's like there's two different types. One's like the silicone-based one, and then there's one that's like I think they're both like rubber or petroleum-based.
But that's still not me when I go like this.
Yeah, there's no movement in any of that stuff. I think it's more or less to get used to it, the machine and stuff.
So how'd you get into this? You said your first job was in '94. How'd you get into this?
I have a non-traditional entry point for sure, but I used to read tattoo magazines at like a gas station a whole bunch and got really into them. But my uncle had a lot of tattoos, and at the time I was working for my grandfather, like on the weekends and summers and stuff, and talking to my uncle about getting tattooed. And keep in mind I was 12 years old at the time. My uncle, who was the same age as my brother and sister, so he was like 5 years older than me, being the cool uncle, said he would take me to his tattoo guy. And I thought it was all kind of like a big dare, but like when I went in and talked to the guy, he asked me how old I was. I knew I couldn't pull off 18, so I told him 14, and he was like, all right, let's do it.
One of our friends unfortunately passed away, and whenever you get a tattoo with writing, you have to sign off that all of the text is correct.
Spelling, yeah.
Spelling. So what a notary does is make sure everything is done correctly. So there was actually a typo that said expired in, and then the date said expired on. And my partner John's brother was getting the same tattoo, and my wife happened to walk in like an hour into it, and that was the last thing that they were doing.
Yeah.
She's like, "You guys know there's a typo there, right?" We were like, he would have been looking down on us, thinking that this was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
It's so ironic that a notary would have, notary stamp would be messed up. So then we started researching on our interactive website to find his signature on old documents. We found it and then stenciled his signature over the typo. What's your personal technique for aftercare?
Mostly just keep it clean, moisturize it with the ointment occasionally, but the biggest thing is to just wash it. Try to keep all the plasma from building up on it and becoming like a gross scab,
Have you ever tried any of those like tattoo goo or things like that?
Yeah, I think everyone's had experience with that. It works all right. It's mostly like wax and lanolin and stuff like that. And it's not really anything special about it. I think the tattoo gear, for instance, has like where it'll come in like a little canister, and it's like kind of like chapstick kind of. So it's not like a gel or a liquid. So I think you're more likely not to put too much of that stuff on. You can't get too much on your fingers, you know.
So I actually saw this episode of Shark Tank where they had like 3 different types of products, like Mad Rabbit.
Okay.
And one of them's like specifically for aftercare, like this. The other one is just to keep things more shiny. So I'm sure you might have seen like some Instagram things where like, you know, they wipe their hand up and down, and then it just looks better. And then the third one is the sunscreen, which is what I use.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, like with tattoos, you know, obviously you have to keep them pretty covered, but you want to show them off.
In the sun, yeah. In the
sun,
summers.
and the only real what they suggest has like zinc in it, and it just turns it white.
Right.
Which defeats the whole purpose of getting it in the first place. So they make one that's actually clear.
Okay.
That I use. That's like SPF like 50.
It's a clear zinc.
No, it doesn't have any zinc in it, but it has like a bunch of other things.
Okay.
That, you know, I suppose are good. Who knows? It may just be clever marketing, but what I've done, you know, it
works well.
It works well.
Yeah.
And it also probably moisturizes it or whatever else.
Where'd you go to law school?
So my money went to Toro. I was too busy working at the Diamond Mark.
Okay.
I worked during the day, and it's, you know, it's a grind. So I didn't go to class as often as I tell my kids they have to.
What kind of law do you get practice?
Just residential real estate, transactional law.
Okay.
Went to court once in my life. I got sworn in Brooklyn. And I swore I'd never go back.